Hey everybody, welcome back to Disneyopolis. I'm Bryan. We're so glad you could make it today. Got my friend Paper Duffy with me. We've got a really great show planned for you today. We are going to be talking about something that I've been wanting to talk about for a little bit. I think I say that on about every show, but I really mean it. And we'll tell you what it is here in just a moment. Did want to remind you that we've got just a day or two left in our Cars 2 giveaway. If you want to go back and check out earlier shows, we did a Disney Movie Rewards mystery DVD unboxing and ended up with two more of these than we really needed, so we're giving these away. All you have to do in order to win them is make sure that you subscribe to the channel. We're going to draw two names randomly here in the next couple days, and we'll notify the winners that they have indeed won. So looking forward to that. I want to make sure that you're aware that that is still going on. Great show today. We are going to talk about something special that Disney did a few years back. Actually, it's been the last probably 10-12 years or so, called Walt Disney Treasures. Walt Disney Treasures is actually a series of 2 DVD collections and classic Disney cartoons, television shows, and other episodes and other material. It basically covers the material from the studio's earliest days all the way up until the most recent work. There were 9 waves, each one containing 2, 3, or 4 different sets. It came to a total of 30 titles. We're going to talk about all 9 waves and all the all the different shows that are included in there. All the content that is presented, it's presented uncensored, it's uncut. And what's great is it's for the most part they've all been digitally restored, both the picture and the remastered sound. So these are wonderful things to have, but they're limited edition. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. But each title has been packaged in a numbered case, which is really kind of neat. The first 2 waves, of releases actually featured numbers that were stamped into each case. And they're actually, like I said, they're collector's tins is what they were. But subsequent waves actually had numbered certificates of authenticity that marked the numbers on them. But the first 3 waves were bound in a cardboard sleeve that displayed the reproduced signatures of Leonard Maltin and Roy Disney. And we'll get to that in just a quick moment here. But in 2003, the warehouse store Costco actually offered an exclusive box set called the Ultimate Disney Treasure Chest. And this presented the first 2 waves of the series without any of the tin containers. But the DVD sets were actually the idea of film critic and historian Leonard Maltin. He actually appears in each set to introduce the DVDs, provide historical context to some of the more dated works. So anyway, long story short, we're going to kind of delve into that. The first wave was of Walt Disney Treasures actually came out December 4th, 2001, and it contained Mickey Mouse in living color. The next one was Silly Symphonies. The next one was Disneyland USA. And the 4th one was Davy Crockett. And again, these were in the first wave that came out during that time. And again, these were meant to be collectible, so much so that they were numbered and there was only a certain number of them produced. Now, I was fortunate enough to get my hands on a couple different ones of them. And you can still get them, but you're not going to get them at the price that they originally went for 10, 15 years ago. You're going to have to find them on auction sites. And I actually, one of the 2 sets that I got, I had to pay pretty penny for, but I'm glad I got it. So first up, Mickey Mouse in living color. This set was the first leg of Mickey Mouse's color career, and this went from 1935 to 1938. There were over 150,000. There were 150,000 sets that were produced, and that was Mickey Mouse in living color. The next disc that came out during Wave 1 was Silly Symphonies, and this set is more or less descriptive of the best of the Silly Symphonies, with the cartoons presented here in kind of a range theme. The UK release, unlike the US release, has the original Jewish peddler visuals restored to the 3 little pigs, and of course there were 150,000 sets produced of those. The next in the first wave was Disneyland USA, and this set actually depicts various episodes of the Walt Disney Anthology series that takes place within and or about Disneyland, and it includes the very first episode from the series. For no other reason than that, it would be great to own that. There are 150,000 sets of those produced. Davy Crockett. Davy Crockett was a a series. It contained the original 5 episodes of Davy Crockett, which were first shown on the Walt Disney Anthology series. This is from 1954 to 1955. And this miniseries was re-released as a DVD 2-movie set on September 7th, 2004. And there were 150,000 sets produced of those. So that is wave number 1. Now, in wave 2, we actually have Mickey Mouse in black and white, the complete Goofy, and behind the scenes at the Walt Disney Studio. Now, the first one is Mickey Mouse in black and white. Now, this set displays a variety of Mickey Mouse cartoon shorts that were released in black and white. There were only 125,000 sets of these produced. I find it interesting that the numbers vary from release to release as to how many they actually made. But again, with that particular set, 125,000, that again is Mickey Mouse in black and white. The second in Wave 2 is the complete Goofy. Now, this set provides a look at all of the cartoons involving the career of Goofy except for How to Ride a Horse, which was in 1941. That segment was actually from the movie The Reluctant Dragon, although the original theatrical poster is included in the Disc 2 gallery. El Gaucho Goofy from 1943, which is a segment from the package film Saludos Amigos, and then Freeway Phobia number 1, which is made in 1965. Also Goofy's Freeway Trouble, 1965. Sport Goofy and Soccer Mania, which was a TV special made in 1987. And How to Hook Up Your Home Theater, made in 2007, being made and released after the initial DVD sets came out. It's also important to note that Donald and Goofy shorts, Polar Trappers, which came out in 1938, The Fox Hunt, which also came out in 1938, Bill Posters in 1940, No Sale, 1945, Frank Duck Brings 'Em Back Alive, which was 1946, and then Crazy with the Heat, 1947. They're instead included with the Chronological Donald Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3 sets, respectively, because they've always been put under Donald Duck's filmography and not Goofy's. And then in addition to the commentary that's provided by Leonard Maltin for some of the galleries on Disc 2, Goofy himself, who was voiced by the original voice of Goofy, Bill Farmer, actually provided comments on the other one. So again, that's the complete Goofy. That was the second one in Wave 2. And then the last one in the Wave 2 is Behind the Secrets at Walt Disney Studios. Now, or behind the scenes rather, not behind the secrets. But anyway, this set provides kind of a history of Walt Disney Studios and of the animation from the days of the caveman to present, you know. Along with a tour of the studio, some Disney animators are introduced and the process of producing films at Disney is covered. Most of the contents are from the Walt Disney Anthology series. Of these, they made 125,000 sets that were made as well, just like with the complete Goofy. Now we move on to Wave 3. And by the way, Wave 2 was released December 3rd of 2002. Wave 3 of the Walt Disney Treasures came out May 18th, 2004, and it contained 4 different sets. The first one is Mickey Mouse in Living Color Volume 2, the Chronological Donald, On the Front Lines, and Tomorrowland. And so the Mickey Mouse in Living Color Volume 2, this one actually picks up where the Mickey Mouse in Living Color Volume 1 actually leaves off. This was one of the few Treasures sets that was released not just in the U.S. but abroad. And on April 4th, 2005 is when that one actually went out to, you know, all parts of the world. Just like the first volume, it was retitled Mickey Mouse in Living Color in the UK due to the American and British spelling differences. There were 175,000 sets of that particular disc that were made. The Chronological Donald, and I don't mind telling you, I'm a Disney purist, love Mickey Mouse, and got the man himself on my shirt, the mouse himself, but Donald Duck has got to be my favorite Walt Disney cartoon character, and this one is one that I was really excited to get a chance to see and preview. This set covers the first leg of Donald Duck's long career, and this starts from about 1934, goes to about 1941, and this was one of the few Treasures sets, again, released abroad, as well as in the United States on April 4th, 2005. There were 165,000 sets of those produced. Up next are the Front Lines, and this was a set that covered all the various cartoons that were themed during World War II. Walt Disney himself was actually pretty active in, for lack of a better word, creating United States propaganda for World War II. And They're actually some of the best animated series of Disney shorts that were probably made, in my personal opinion. But there were 250,000 sets that were produced for on the front lines. And then finally, the last one in Wave 3 is Tomorrowland. And this, of course, depicts the various episodes of the anthology series that were set in Tomorrowland. Many of the episodes that were directed by Ward Kimball, the legendary Walt Disney animator. There were 105,000 sets that were produced for the Tomorrowland series. Next, we move on to Wave 4. Wave 4 came out December 7th, 2004, and this actually included Mickey Mouse in Black and White Volume 2, The Complete Pluto Volume 1, and the Mickey Mouse Club, which is one of the two sets that I actually have. And the other one that I have is Mickey Mouse in Black and White Volume 1. But Mickey Mouse in Black and White Volume 2, this set actually covered the remaining Mickey Mouse cartoon shorts that were released in black and white. 175,000 sets of those were produced. And actually those that were produced at rates of 175 to 200 and some thousand, those are some of the bigger ones. As you see, as we get into some of the later releases, they only released a small fraction of those, in the collector's series. But the next is The Complete Pluto. This set covered the first half of Pluto's screen time and career, and 110,000 sets of these were produced. And the Mickey Mouse Club, which is one that I'm really fond of. This set actually had the first week of the Mickey Mouse Club program as it originally broadcast from October 3rd through the 7th, 1955, and there were 130,000 sets produced of the Mickey Mouse Club, and that is the end of Wave 4. Up next, Wave 5. This one was released almost a year to the day as Wave 4. This one had Chronological Donald Volume 2, Disney Rarities, celebrated shorts, which were from the 20s through the 60s, The Adventures of Spin and Marty, which was actually a mini serial that was on the Mickey Mouse Club, and then El Fuego Baca and the Swamp Fox, Legendary Heroes. So those are the four we'll take a look at. The first one, Chronological Donald Volume 2. This set actually covered the second leg of Donald Duck's long career, starting from 1942 to 1946, and it covered World War II in the process. And most international releases of this set don't include the bonus feature, which is called From the Vault, which actually consists of 8 cartoons of World War II propaganda. Remember, we said Walt did quite a bit of that, and the studios did, including the shorts of Commando Duck and Der Fuhrer's Face. The omission of these shorts have never been explained. Also omitted from the international release is the short Donald's Crime, but this omission was more likely probably due to a mistake, as all the other versions like the Great Mouse Detective DVD include it. The Chronological Donald Volume 2 did not receive the beautiful restoration that the first Volume 1 did. So a lot of these prints are really kind of worn, and the image quality is visibly worse than all the earlier Disney Treasure volumes, but they're still great to have, and they're still fantastic shorts. There were 125,000 sets produced of the Chronological Donald Volume 2. Up next, Disney Rarities, celebrated shorts from the 1920s through the 1960s. Now, this set actually covers many of the miscellaneous cartoons that come out of the studio that didn't really feature the usual stable of Disney cast and characters, the stars. They don't even fit into the Silly Symphonies, or did they even feature the Silly Symphonies title card? This set actually also includes a few select episodes from the Alice comedies, which were made in the 1920s, long before Mickey Mouse ever came on the scene. This one had 125,000 sets that were produced. Up next, The Adventures of Spin and Marty. This was the Adventures of Spin and Marty serial, which actually was first broadcast on the Mickey Mouse Club back in 1955. 125,000 sets were produced. It's every episode of The Adventures of Spin and Marty that were ever made. And then finally, El Fuego Baca and the Swamp Fox Legendary Heroes. This set contains selected episodes from the Adventure series that was part of the Walt Disney Anthology series. They made 125,000 of these sets that were produced. So that is Wave 5. Again, that came out December 6, 2005. Wave 6, December 19th, 2006. This had the following titles: More Silly Symphonies, The Complete Pluto Volume 2, The Hardy Boys, The Mystery of the Applegate Treasure, and your host, Walt Disney. More Silly Symphonies was the first release. This one actually contains all the Silly Symphonies that were not released on the first volume in Wave 1. Leonard Maltin mentions in the intro that the original title cards to most of these shorts were presumably lost, and therefore new title cards had been recreated, making a close approximation of how they originally looked. However, these title cards weren't even used on the initial pressings of the set. So, also the cartoon The Night Before Christmas was an edited version, and missing footage of toys resembling Amos and Andy. Replacement discs were initially issued, which corrected the errors on the original copies, and then from the Disney website, you can even call an 800 number now if you've got that collectible, and you can get replacement copies. They only made 65,000 of these sets. Remember, as I told you, we got toward the later waves, fewer and fewer of these were being made. Next up, The Complete Pluto, Volume 2. And this second volume of Pluto contains the complete collection started in Walt Disney Treasures Wave 4. It also includes 3 cartoons shorts starring Figaro from the feature film Pinocchio and Minnie Mouse, which appears in 2 of them. There were 65,000 of those sets that were produced. The Hardy Boys Mystery of the Applegate Treasure was the next disc to come out. If you remember the old Franklin W. Dixon books, boys that were my age and even younger ate these books up alive. As a matter of fact, I still have a few of mine laying around. But anyway, this volume features the first of the 2 Hardy Boys serials that were actually shown on the Mickey Mouse Club. 65,000 sets of these were produced. And then finally, your host Walt Disney. This volume actually featured 4 episodes from the Disneyland TV series. There was actually a show before The Wonderful World of Color and before The Wonderful World of Disney called Disneyland, which is the one repeated from Disneyland USA, released in Walt Disney Treasures Wave 1. But as well as some other television specials produced in a similar fashion. And of course, as the title intimates, your host is Walt Disney. Again, 65,000 sets of these were produced. Which takes us to Wave 7. A lot of waves here. Wave 7 came up with the Chronological Donald, Volume 3. Not much to say except it's the rest of the Donald Duck movies that didn't appear in Volumes 1 and 2. There were 50,000 of these sets that were produced. And by the way, Wave 7 actually came out December 11, 2007. The second one was The Adventures of Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Disney hadn't had the rights to Oswald back very long. They went ahead and they produced this. This was a big deal because Oswald had been out of Disney's hands for so long and owned by another company. So they produced 120,000 sets of The Adventures of Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. And then finally, the last in Wave 7 is Disneyland, Secrets, Stories, and Magic. Again, from the Disneyland TV series, and 50,000 sets of those were produced. Finally, we come to, well, I say finally, we're getting there, Wave 8. Wave 8 was released on November 11th, 2008, and this contained 3 releases. The Chronological Donald, Volume 4, Dr. Sin, The Scarecrow of Romney Marsh, and the Mickey Mouse Club Presents Annette, featuring Annette Funicello. So, Chronological Donald, Volume 4, this is the final volume on Donald, and it contains the remaining Donald shorts and featurettes from 1951 to 1961. However, this set leaves out the 3 Chip and Dale solo shorts that Donald appeared in. It also leaves out Donald's Fire Survival Plan and Steel in America, both 1965. Those were kind of educational featurettes, as well as a 1967 educational feature, Scrooge McDuck and Money, which featured, as you might already know, Uncle Scrooge for the first time in a starring role in any kind of animation from Disney Studios. He'd previously only appeared on the opening title sequence of the Mickey Mouse Club. The cartoon Be On Guard is missing the last 5 seconds of footage for reasons that nobody knows and have never been explained. I will say that recently, however, Disney started issuing replacement discs that correct that error. They made 39,500 of these sets that were produced, and that's among the lowest of any in the waves. Wave 8 was really a small release. There were, as a matter of fact, there were only as many discs released in Wave 8 as of all of them combined, and of only one release from Wave 1 or Wave 2. Second, Dr. Sin, The Scarecrow of Romney Marsh. If you've never seen Dr. Sin, The Scarecrow of Romney Marsh, also appeared as Dr. Sin, alias a Scarecrow. This thing scared the living daylights out of me when I was a kid, but I could not take my eyes off it. As a matter of fact, I was so glad not too terribly long ago to acquire this one. This one, 39,500 sets were produced. If you get a chance to see that, there's some, not real pretty copies out there, but if you can get your hands on it, Dr. Sin, alias the Scarecrow, or Dr. Sin, the Scarecrow of Romney Marsh, actually really well made. And then finally, the Mickey Mouse Club presents Annette, starring Annette Funicello, who is probably their most recognized and best loved of the Mickey Mouse Club series. That one had 39,500 sets that were produced. And then finally, we come to Wave 9. Wave 9 only contains 2 releases. These were the final 2 in the Walt Disney's Treasures. Wave 9 had Zorro, the complete first season, which it included all 39 episodes from the show's first season. They had 30,000 sets of those that were produced. And then the last release was Zorro, the complete second season. This set includes all 39 episodes from the show's second season, and all there were 30,000 sets that were produced. So that is waves 1 through 9, which are all the waves, and that one was released, by the way, November 3rd, 2009. These are amazing collections. Again, it would probably be a very expensive proposition. I don't know if Disney will ever do anything quite like this again. I would love to see them reissue it, but that, when you reissue something that's already been released as a collectible, it makes it, I don't know, less collectible? Maybe that's the word, I don't know. But anyway, if you can get your hands on any of these, if you got the expendable money laying around, I say go to eBay, go to Craigslist, just wherever you can find them, and pick these up. It was a fantastic idea. Like I said, went from December 4th of 2001 through November 3rd of 2009, so over an 8-year span. They released all 30 of these box sets, and they are wonderful. They're a really great piece of history and Americana. So that's pretty much it as far as the Walt Disney Treasures. Did want to remind everybody that, of course, like I said, we do have the Cars 2 giveaway that we are completing, and we'll do that here in the next couple of days. Make sure you get your name in the drawing simply by subscribing to our channel here at youtube.com/Disneyopolis. And I'm going to post something else that's just a little bit special. One of the things that my family and I really, really enjoy when we go down to Walt Disney World, and really, really, really enjoyed this last time we went, was one of our favorite drinks. And as with everything Disney, it's pretty much exclusive just to the Disney resorts, and that is pomegranate lemonade. This stuff is amazing. It was made by Minute Maid. It was available for a while on the commercial market. Since then, Disney's locked up an exclusivity of it. But my son and my daughters and myself, we all just really like this stuff. So I decided to do a little bit of research, and I'm going to post both of the recipes and links down below, as well as links to where you can find the Walt Disney Treasure sets. But I had to bring out my Marine Life Institute Finding Dory, tumbler. Anyway, I made my own batch of pomegranate lemonade. 2 ways to make it. Both are yummy and delicious. One is a bit more expensive than the other, but well worth it. Gotta do it. Anyway, it's been great to have you on the show again. This is Disneyopolis. We are everything Disney all the time. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Love to hear your thoughts and comments about the show. Listen, you have yourselves a fantastic day, and thanks for watching.